Hi there, I'm Linda and this is Huttons Valley Permaculture. Today I'm going to be preserving some lemons. My neighbour has plenty on her tree, so I've been doing all sorts of things with them, from dehydrating them, zesting them and freezing that, making cordial, all sorts of things. But today I'm going to preserve the lemons with fermentation. It's simple and only needs 2 ingredients. Although you can add ingredients such as a cinnamon quill, bay leaves, which can be dried or fresh, cloves or black peppercorns. People add chilies. You can add all sorts of flavours to the lemons. But today I'm just going to do a plain one because I like to add the plain lemon to recipes and you don't have to worry about what extra flavours are in there. Okay, so to get started, all you do is take your lemons, make sure that they're washed. I just washed that in hot water, no soap. And we just need to remove all these little stems so that that's not in our final product. So make sure all of that is clear, so they're all good. Okay, so what you need is about 10 lemons. Now it does depend on the size and the size of your jar. I'm just using a 1 litre jar, or it's a quart size. And I've got my 10 lemons here, but I do have some in reserve in case I need a little bit more. So you need some to fill your jar and some to juice as well. And I've got my rock salt. It's just a sea salt. Make sure it's not containing any iodine. And make sure it doesn't have additives as well, which sometimes they do. And I've got 6 tablespoons of salt here, which works out at about 100 grams of salt, if it's easier just to weigh it out. So to get started, we just need to quarter our lemons. You don't cut right through, leave about 1 centimetre at the bottom there, so that it remains attached. And then you just grab your jar. I like to do this over the jar so the excess salt goes into there. So you can see the salt goes everywhere. You just fill up your lemon and then pop that in there and just keep going until, make sure those little stemmy bits are all off, until your jar is packed full. You're supposed to add in a tablespoon of salt to each of your lemons, assuming you're using 6, but it kind of falls out. So as long as you're adding it to your jar ultimately, and you just need to be jamming them right in there. The lemons start to release their juice, and that's the brine being created. Alright, so the lemon is slowly filling up my jar. I could probably jam in another lemon. I'm going to pop some of that salt in now. So I'm having my jar so it's super full. Okay, so that jar is looking really good. And the juice is right up to the top, so I don't think I'm going to have to add any extra juice. Just push that, make sure that's down. But I am going to add the rest of this salt. Now that you've got your jar nice and full, just pop your lid on and seal it. And you're just going to leave that on your counter, out of sun, to ferment for 3 or 4 days. Keep burping it each day, which is just opening up the lid and releasing the gases. Now each day also, you just give it a good shake Make sure that the liquid has been in contact with all the lemons. If any of the lemons aren't in contact with the liquid, you do risk some mold forming. So that is preserved lemons done. Now it's just time. It's been about a week now since I've made my preserved lemons, and I've been burping it each day after just turning it upside down. But I'm finding now that it doesn't have any more of those gases that need to be released. So I'm just going to sit that in a cool, dark spot. You could put that in the refrigerator or just in a dark cupboard somewhere, as long as it's sort of less than around sort of 13, 14 degrees. You know when it's ready to use because the lemon skins become quite soft. Now, if you've started with harder skin lemons, it might take a couple more weeks. So between sort of 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the lemons that you started with. But it's a great ingredient. You can use not only the rind, but there's recipes out there that use both the brine and the pulp. I'll leave a link in the description to a website that lists many different recipes that preserved lemons can be used in. So I hope you give it a try. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and bye for now.